Everybody, welcome to episode 1, man. Episode 1 of the Birds and the Bees. Hey, I don't know if we're gonna. All right, so I'm not gonna lie. In the moment of transparency, I don't know the name of this show, but we're gonna figure it out later. This is episode
It's
1.
coming soon.
It's coming soon. Coming soon. I'll name
Coming
this
soon for
podcast
real.
later. Episode 1. But I'm here with Rashad Milligan. I'm here with my co-host Malik Brown. Malik, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. How your Sunday going?
Man, just same old. They got the playoff games going on right now. I have like the slightest clue. I think Tom Brady is doing well, so that's it.
I think it's like 24-10.
Yeah.
Or 21, yeah.
So we shall see. He won't never. Anyways, this podcast is not about Tom Brady and his ever-ending quest to be the greatest at age 90. This is about the Atlanta Hawks, man. So, first off, as in Atlanta and stuff like that, we just want to, or being from Atlanta, we just want to say rest in peace to Hank Aaron, like that,
Right.
everything like that. Malik, just what do you want to say about Hank, and if you have any thoughts on that?
Shoot, a legend, basically, bro. That's all you can really say. I mean, what he did in Atlanta, what he did everywhere else. I mean, it's really like a testament to everything he's been doing. So, rest in peace for real. Like that really hit.
For sure. And the thing that I was talking about with him, relating it back to the Hawks was like Dominique, just because Hank Aaron said so many times he's felt kind of underappreciated or underappreciated for what he's done and what he's accomplished while he was here. And, he dies and they do all these things like Georgia Tech lit their stadium blue. We're both
The
from
whole thing blue.
State, by the way, and they got that from Georgia State, but we going
Right. We gonna say that for another day. We good.
For the sake of Hank, we gonna let it slide. But
We gonna let him live.
But so we got that going on. The Falcons and United retired number 44 and stuff in honor of Hank. But yeah, it's just you see all these things, and it always happens with anybody after they die. Kobe Bryant, they named the award after him, All-Star Game MVP and stuff. So it's just like we want to give people their flowers while they can still smell them. And when Neek is gone, as the face of Atlanta hoops, the history and everything like that, et cetera, you want to give him those flowers, as many flowers as you can give while he's still here.
Right.
But yeah,
so
man.
Do you think,
go ahead.
before we go on, do you think, I know I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter talking about, I guess, naming Truist Park Hank Aaron Stadium or something like that. You think they'll do that?
Nah. Money.
Nah.
Money. It sounds great. It sounds great. It's like
It does.
But it's money, man. So you have to name like the field after him. Something that doesn't have to be sponsored. Hank Aaron Field at Truist Park. That's my opinion on
true.
it. But yeah, man. Without further ado, let's get into it of what we got going on. Clint Capella, it's freaking Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon, man. Just what's your reaction to Clint, first of all?
Bruh, when he got the triple double with the blocks, I didn't even watch that game. I watched maybe the first quarter, and then because I know Trey had scored, he had 43, and then Bleacher Report hit my phone and it was like Capella had a triple double. I was like, oh shoot, and it was 10 blocks. I said, hold up now. So I went back and watched the highlights, and I'm like, bro, after the 6-1, I think he had 6 in the first half.
Yeah. It's been like that. It's been like that since the Portland game. The Portland game, he had crazy numbers at halftime, and ever since then, the first half numbers have been like, what? What are you doing, bro? Where is this coming from?
Yeah, and it's I feel like after that 6-1, it was he was like, yeah, I'm getting 10. I got to get this 10. So I'm thinking, he swatted everything. He swatted the air. He's getting it, bro.
Yeah, around about 8. I was about to say around about 8. That's when he started chasing the blocks and whatnot. But
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, because I know he really wasn't. I know a lot of people were kind of skeptical about him at the beginning of the season because first, I mean, you play all the preseason games, and then he misses like the first couple regular season games. So they're like, okay, is your heel like what's going on? Like, is your heel good? So then I mean, I feel like it just really takes time. Like, I feel like he's getting acclimated more. And him and John are really, I think they have like the best defensive rating out of like a front court or something like that. So I think that's pretty good, bro.
And I think it's Kevin Neely. Shout out Kevin Neely on Twitter. But he posts all those like statistics and random stats and things to make the Hawks look better than what they are. But the one he threw in a defensive trio, and he was like, Trae Young was like the third person. He's like, they're the best defensive trio in the league. And that's how like he just finds like it's like when Kobe died last year. And they were like, this man shot 81% from the free throw line tonight. And I was like, dude, like
they did that for the whole week though.
They did it for the whole month, for the entire month of February. They did it. It's like Bradley Beal scored 50 points back-to-back nights for the first time since Kobe Bryant. And I don't know. That was very annoying. Rest in peace to Kobe though. But man, it's just Clint. I don't know, bro. It's ridiculous. Like you said, like he comes in, gets traded like January, February last year, doesn't play.
Yeah.
Sits out. Right. You have quarantine. You didn't go to the bubble. So you haven't played in over a year at this point. It's been a year.
Right.
Preseason starts in December. You play like a preseason game, then you rest, and then you're out at the beginning of the regular season. It's like what are you out for? Like what type of rest? Like that you didn't heal in the past year, So then you get the question of is he still going to be the same Clint Capella that we saw in Houston and the playoffs and stuff like that? So like you said, that's a great point of Hawks fans just being kind of skeptical of him at first. And then, shout out to our guy Grant. Grant has been on him, man. Like when at the beginning of the season when Clint was, like I said, shuffling his feet down low on the post, and he's just throwing up bricks against – and it's like, what is this dude doing? And it's like, dude, your game is lobs, to catch lobs and block shots and rebound.
That's it. That's all you need to do.
That's it. And it's like,
we don't need to see none of this, none of that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when you think about Houston, it's like, that is all he did. He just caught lobs from James Harden and blocked. Like, I don't remember him doing like anything else when you think about it. So I was like, man, that's a great
and I feel like one of the things I never noticed about him too is like he's like really athletic for a center, bro. Like I've seen him like just steal the ball like in the lane or whatnot. I'm like, bro, like this dude is fast too. Like this man on fast breaks or whatnot, like handling the balls, just like doing double clutches under the rim. I'm like, oh, you don't really see centers do that type of stuff. So I'm like, bro, like he's like pretty athletic for a center, honestly.
Right. And I think a large part of that, coming into it was like coming into the draft in 2014. He's only 26, which like I forget. And so someone brought it up to me last game. Shout out Eric Eboa. But it's like 26. Like he came in 2014.
Yeah.
Anyways, coming into that draft, they said he was a bit undersized to be a center. The way that the game is evolved is kind of played into his hands, where a guy like a Bam Adebayo, 6'9", could be a center. A guy like Onyeka Okongwu, 6'9", could be a center. And Clint is probably like 6'9", 6'10". So he's in that range of, kind of the undersized center and a decade ago. But now he's kind of like, he fits that mold of what you need.
Yeah.
A modern day big, even though he doesn't shoot the ball and he's not a 3-point shooter, he still has that athleticism, like you're saying, around the rim to be elusive and not just be a traditional post-up guy, because that's not his game, is from what we learned.
It's not. And I don't even expect him to like, because I know like the past couple of seasons the Hawks have had centers that shoot threes. Like I don't think he's ever gonna like go out on the perimeter. Like I think he's good where he is. Like it fits the offense basically. Like it really fits the offense.
And I don't think Pero Antic necessarily saved the Hawks with his 3-point shooting. So
nah,
it's like great. Like okay, you can shoot, but what else can you? You know what I'm saying? So
right.
But like I think
Pero really did. He really just exposed Indiana. Like I think that's the only really thing. Like he couldn't shoot it, but he made Roy Hibbert come out. So I mean, that was really like the biggest thing he did. He couldn't shoot it.
He hit that 3 against the corner 3 against Charlotte. at the end
Yeah,
of
wasn't it like
regulation.
a backboard or something like
Yeah,
that?
it
I
was
forgot
like
what it was.
one leg in the corner, three. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he hit back. And I'm like, dude,
what the heck was
Antich,
that?
and they went to like overtime and won the game. Like like yeah,
Yes,
that's the
yes,
one shot. And then the other times he'd be like the biggest dude, look like Thor or something, shooting threes. It's like, bro, get
yeah.
your behind in the paint because he could go in the paint and still like bang everybody like Steven Adams type
Right,
strength, dude.
right.
But yeah, man. So what are your expectations for Clint? Headed into the rest of the season, is it? We kind of need you to continue these unreal numbers all season and be that third option, consistent third option, and make a big three in Atlanta. Like, what are your expectations for Clint?
Sure. I feel like what he's doing now is like kind of just going to be like the standard, honestly. Like, I don't even think you can't even say like he's forcing it because I mean, everything's coming off of what they're doing when he's coming off the pick and roll with Trey or they're doubling John or something like that. Like, he's not, he's not forcing the offense. It's really just coming to him. So, I mean, as long as Trey and everybody else is good, I feel like Clint's going to get his numbers regardless. I mean, we already knew he was a great defensive center, so I mean that's going to come naturally. So I just feel like I said, he literally just fits the offense. Like you just plug him in and boom, there it is.
Right. It's like kind of even like John fits the offense in that way where like a lot of
Exactly.
fans will complain that John doesn't get plays called for him and stuff, but it's like a lot of times John doesn't need plays called for him to be John
It
Collins.
just happens.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
especially in the offense with Trey Young. Trey Young's so ball dominant, and he kind of needs to be ball dominant. Going off of like the back and forth they had a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago, it's just like that's Trey's game. And I think if you change
Right.
that or whatever to kind of fit in with these new players and stuff, I think you just get like a smaller version of Trey Young, and you kind of need Trey Young just to beat. I don't know. That's my opinion. How do you feel about that? About Trey being ball dominant and stuff?
No, I feel like I feel like the offense goes as he goes. So if he's not aggressive, I feel like the Hawks are really going to be aggressive that night. So, and I mean, he doesn't have to score 40. Like, he doesn't have to score 40 every night, but like, just his presence, just like on the court, just opens everything up for the Hawks, honestly. So I feel like if he's just doing what he's doing, everybody's going to continue to get looks like they are now. Um, so, and like you said, like with John, I don't like. You're right. He doesn't really need plays called for him. He just like he fits like Clint. So, I mean, because when I think of John, honestly, I think of like Draymond. Like you don't game plan for Draymond. Like he just is there. He gets his numbers. Yeah. So, I mean, I know they had a little back and forth, but I don't really think it was as serious as people took it.
It definitely wasn't. I mean, anybody who watches Trey is different. Anytime you get something that's different and it works, you're a genius. If it's different and
Yeah.
it doesn't work, then you're like, what the heck are you doing? So it's like I think the biggest play, the most the defining play of this early Hawk season was that Trey shot in Portland. 17 seconds left.
Yeah.
Whether they're down by 4, and he just pulls up from
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
position. 17 seconds left, and it's like Trey, like this isn't a 2-for-1 opportunity. You don't have any rebounders under the rim. You're just doing this in momentum. You haven't had your shot going all night. Like why? Like why?
Right.
And I think that's just kind of the play for these Hawks or whatever this season and stuff. But anyways, moving on from Clint and John on the block, talk about another guy, or the wings. Let's just talk about the wings in general. I think this
The wings.
season, going into it, everybody had a lot of questions with Gallo and Bogey coming in the picture. How were the 3 young guys going to do? Herder, it seemed like Herder was probably going to be the odd man out because, Hunter
Yeah.
was a top 4 pick, and Reddish is the guy that everybody was high on for all-star potential in the future. So, just what are you liking from those 3 guys so far this season?
So coming into the season, this second season, I mean, I would say that I was really high on Cam first. I just feel like he has literally like all the things to be like a great player, like great defensive wing. I feel like he can score at any level, but I mean, you come into the season now, he's kind of still inconsistent or whatnot. So, but DeAndre Hunter, he's been the best out of the three wings, honestly. I mean, and it's crazy because I just feel like he's another player that just like fits in. Like he doesn't take control, but he has been more aggressive than he was last year, and he has said that for sure. So, I mean, so far, I mean, Hunter's been looking good. Like we already knew that he could play defense, but his offensive game is just taking a step too. Like he's attacking the paint more. He's like making open shots. So I like that. But Kevin Herter, of course, he was the one that had to take the back seat. But I honestly like him in that 6-man role. So, and he's really improved too. Like he can handle the ball. He can shoot the three. And what he's doing this season now, he's getting into the paint. Like he's 6'7" for a shooting guard. Like he's just literally like floating over these dudes. So I mean, I like what all of them are bringing, like as a collective unit. I mean, I know Reddish has struggled or whatnot, but as a unit, like it's really been working out well for the Hawks, I think.
And I think with Kev, I think Kev is the most interesting out of all three of them because, Hunter, he exceeded our expectations early on in the season. And, he's really been their most consistent player on the team, more consistent than
Yeah.
Trey, anybody else. Like he's playing at pretty much like he should be in the conversation to be an all-star reserve this year. The way he's been playing so far,
Yeah.
like that's the level that he's
True.
playing at right now. I know Coach is talking about Capella. If Capella keeps putting up numbers like this, he's going to be an all-star. But DeAndre Hunter has been the most consistent Hawk, all season. And if you want to give a nod to Trae Young just because he has that name recognition now and the name brand, you got to give at least a look. He's got to be at least in the conversation for DeAndre Hunter this year. So anyways, and Cam, like you said, we're still seeing what we saw last season of he started off hot out the gates and we're like, oh, Cam is doing what we expected.
Right, exactly.
Woo! And then like he falls off and then he gets hurt. And then, he's not as aggressive when he comes back in. It's just like when he is aggressive, it's just bad. It's like, why?
Yeah, he's
why
too aggressive. He's too aggressive.
There's no middle ground. It's like Cam is either not aggressive at all and doesn't think he's Cam Reddish, or people tell him he's Cam Reddish and he just takes dumb shots and that's a little spin move. I hate that spin move. Like the spin move gets on my nerves, Cam. And you're a talented player, but that spin move, bro, it be driving.
Did that against the Heat last year?
Against the Heat, the infamous spin move. And he's done that a couple times this year, but it wasn't as bad. But it's just like, bro, like, dog,
you
like,
gotta
chill.
stop.
You gotta chill out. Exactly.
You're not John Wall.
You're not John Wall, bro. You are not De'Aaron Fox, bro. So, but still, so that's Cam. And then, but Kevin is like, he's a guy who's consistent, but sometimes it's like he misses shots. And, like I think a lot of times in that Minnesota game, I did watch the Minnesota game. And it was like a lot of times when he was driving and he made passes or stuff, or he tried to get the best shot possible, just like the passing lanes, the things that he thought were going to be there, they just weren't there.
Yeah.
And
right.
So I think Kev, he sometimes might struggle with that of just being a little too for the team, too trying to fit in. And sometimes you kind of just got to go and be you, Kev. And but he understands that. He's a smart guy. Kev is definitely like you said, just a great team player overall. I just think it's interesting for him because you said that 6-man role. But this is the 6-man role when the team's not healthy. You got Chris Dunn coming back and Bogey coming back. Bogey comes back. Cam is probably going to be the one put on the bench just based off of his inconsistent play right now.
True.
But I look at it like Trey, Bogey, Hunter, Collins, and Capella. And then you have who's the first guy off the bench? Is it going to be Dunn? Is it going to be Snell is at the end of the bench, but he hasn't been looking that bad when he comes in.
Yeah, he doesn't look that bad. Y'all know he's hit a couple shots or whatnot, but I guess they're still probably trying to get him to game speed. I don't know, but he's been back for what, like 2 weeks?
Yeah. He was back before Conway. Yep. So, but I mean,
yeah,
I don't
true.
know.
Yeah.
When I think about 6-man, like there's also that opportunity of would you bring Bogey off the bench just to have scoring on the second unit. And that's something that we've seen Pierce do early on where he has
Yeah.
Herder and Bogey on the floor at the same time and Gallo, and that's kind of like the squad that goes. I don't know. It's just there's the Hawks still don't know what they're going to do with the lineups, and I think
Yeah.
Herder is the guy who's kind of affected the most by it because right now he gets his minutes and he gets his his usual shine and he could play his typical role to maximize his abilities, but when everybody's healthy, he's going to be the guy who takes a back seat unless Pierce is just going to play who's playing the best because Bogey's streaky, but he's streaky like one of the best streaky guys in the league. So when he gets it
True.
going, like he can go 0 for 5 coming out there. But if he hits one, he can finish the game with 20 points. And then
Yeah.
it's like,
Right.
he wins you the game. So it's like, and on nights like those, if you're Pierce, I don't know. Pierce has a difficult job. He has a difficult job.
He does. No, he does have a hard job.
because if Bogey starts 0 for 5, and Bogey's like, this is what I always do. I always start 0 for 5, and I hit that 6th one, I end up with 23 points. Like,
right.
Is he the bad guy for sitting Bogey and for Herder? And Herder's kind of struggling, 12 points and throws away a couple of turnovers. Like, I don't know. What do you do in that situation? How do you kind of, do these lineups?
That is difficult because, like you said, because when I was went back like early in the season when they played the Nets, Bogey went off the first time they played the Nets, and then I think they played like the Cavs like two games after that, and like he just didn't have it. Like, I mean, he hit the shot, he hit the game time shot, but like he really wasn't doing much before that. So it's like he is streaky, but I just feel like you kind of just gotta go with him because it's Bogey. And I mean, I hate to like
And you paid him all
the
that
numbers
money.
in. I hate to bring the numbers in, but it's like, bro, you really just paid this dude. So I mean, you gotta do something with him.
You can't let all that money just sit down on the bench because
Just on the
he started
bench,
over 5. No,
right?
Herder. I'm sorry, Herder. You're gonna have to take a back seat. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. I'm sorry, bro. Like, but man, Gallo is like, I don't know. Gallo is automatic offense every time, and he doesn't need anything. He just gets the ball, and it's like someone's guarding him 5 feet behind the line, and he still finds a way to
It don't
score.
matter.
Yeah, it's just that
It
it
don't
don't
matter.
matter. It don't matter. So it's just like, I don't know. Like Pierce has a difficult job, man. To figure out to all these, and then Okongwu, you have the number 6 pick there. You can't just have the number 6 pick sitting out forever. So like, how do you feel about Okongwu just early on, and how can he get involved?
Man, when his first game wasn't that great to me. I mean, he had like what 4.6 rebounds. I mean, he did a little bit, but I really don't know because I really never really watched him that much in college, so I don't really know what his game is. I don't really know if he really has like an offensive game or whatnot. So I'm not really sure what
He
his
has
role is going
footwork.
to be on the team.
He has footwork. He has footwork.
Better than Clint.
Yeah, for sure. Better than Glenn. Better than Glenn. That boy, Akamu is that joker right there. He's like Clint and like his athleticism kind of facing up. He's kind of like a John Collins with his athleticism, facing up and stuff like that. But he keeps calling himself Bam, and I could see him growing into a Bam, but he's not Bam right now. Day one, A1.
Yeah.
I mean, he's another one like he hasn't played in a year.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I remember he was
didn't get a
saying that. He was
training
saying he
camp.
hadn't played in years.
He
Yeah.
didn't get to practice until like 2 days before he got into the game at Utah. So it's just like
Right.
so the fact that his first shot was an air ball is like you can't say much. And then later in that game he showed some potential with the putback dunk. So I mean I think a combo
Right. Exactly.
you just got to give him time to learn. But the thing is the Hawks are in win now mode. So and LP's job is on the line. So it's just tricky, but
Yeah.
you got to find him some minutes there.
And when you think about that, it's like because after Clint goes out, I mean, right now, what John's going to move to the 5, right? So it's like you don't want to keep John at the 5 because he's really not that big. So at some point, I mean, it seemed like Bruno, he's kind of struggling putting Bruno in. Bruno really hasn't been producing. So it's like somebody got to grow up eventually.
Well, I was thinking, I was like, who is the Hawks backup? And then I guess I was like,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that Dedmon's gone, Lynn is gone, and he, like you said,
yeah,
Bruno's been in the doghouse for the past couple of weeks.
for a minute.
So hey, salute to Bruno,
Hey, I
man.
feel like
Salute to Bruno, man.
I think it was the Sixers game, bro. I feel like I haven't seen him much after the Sixers game,
Yeah,
bro.
man. He well, the good thing is the Hawks, they blew out Minnesota. So those guys,
Yeah,
they got in at the end of Minnesota. But Nathan Knight has been getting Nathan Knight has been getting Bruno's minutes when he dresses.
yeah,
Because he's on that 50-day limit for two-way players where you only get 50
right.
games or whatever. And yeah, when he dresses out, he's like the first big off the bench in a couple of those games. But Nathan Knight is like, he had that first game and people had that game
Uh-huh.
of scout. Like it's different when they get to scout you and they watch your
Yeah,
film and you come back. You got to do it again when they know what you're about to do.
right.
And so Nathan Knight is struggling now ever since he can't had that breakout game, that first game. But
Yeah, yeah.
Wu can, like you said, that position is open. That backup 5 spot is open. So
Yeah, it's wide open.
you got to take it and grab it. So we shall see what happens with that and stuff like that. But yeah, man, we're recording this before the Milwaukee game, so anything that happens tonight, whether it's good or bad, extremely, but the Hawks are so extreme from a game to game. You have no idea what you're gonna get.
Yeah, you really never know.
But my question for you is, man, all these people on LP, how you feel about LP and the job he's doing, and do you think he makes it to? Do you
Man,
think he makes it to the summer?
I I feel like I think he does. I always start with every time somebody asks me about Coach Chris, I'm like, he's a great guy. Coach, he's a great guy. Like outside of basketball, like he's a great guy, bro. Like I love what he does for the city, like everything, bro. Like I love Coach Chris, but it's like, but I feel like you gotta give him like time, like, and I know this is third year, but the past 2 years he really ain't had nothing. He hasn't had anything to work with. So you give him this roster this year, and half the team is hurt. So it's like you can't really give like an honest, true opinion yet. So I feel like the past couple games that they played, like he's really like shown improvement as a coach, like, or maybe that's just Trey Young getting out of his slump. Like we really, you don't really know, don't know what it is.
I
But
think I think any coach looks good when Trey goes 8 for 12 from three.
right. But I think he'll make it, bro. I think he'll make it. I feel like a lot of people give him like a lot of like they give him a lot of slander for stuff the players the players need to fix themselves, bro. Like is Lloyd Pierce is not controlling them, bro. Like he's not telling them to break all these shots. That Jazz game, that was not his fault. Like they were like what 4 for like 30 on threes or something. That wasn't his fault.
And Spidey was on fire. I think he gave him like a 43 ball, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
42. He was
exactly.
going, yeah, like what? Like 30 at halftime, man. So,
Yeah, he wasn't missing. He was not missing.
yeah, but I mean, with Pierce, man, like you said, like, I don't know, it's tough on that end, but a lot of times it's like, okay, I think the sign of a good coach is when things aren't getting going, you have to kind of have a game plan to get some
Yeah,
easy shots, to get something going, to draw up some type of offense where you can get an open layup under the rim, for
yeah,
whether it be Trey or someone to get the offense going. And I think, the lack of change, you see, adjustments during the game when it's not working. Like I think a lot of times what he will do, he'll be quick to pull the trigger on rotations, right? So Bruno
yeah.
does this for 2 possessions. Bruno, you out. You know what I'm saying? Like
You're
he's
out.
quick to do that,
Yeah,
but it's like as far as like just game planning, defense or offensively at least, because defensively I'm not all the way there yet, but offensively,
yeah,
when you see something, okay, this ain't working. The double drag. All right, double drag, and Trey usually just step backs on it and shoots a deep three, and it's been off the last three trips on the field.
right.
Okay, let's run something other than the double drag this time.
Yeah.
Let's
Right.
see.
No, that's true. That's true.
Let's
That's
draw up
true.
a play for Kev to get open right here. Let's draw up a play for to hit DeAndre Hunter as he's cutting, or something like that,
Yeah.
instead of the double drag or pick and roll. It's always one pick and roll or
Yeah.
double
You see a pick and
screens.
roll yes,
Exactly.
always the
So
pick and roll.
that's what I'm saying. So it's like, let's draw up something that's different here. And I think that's where a lot of the frustration from the fans come from when they see it over and over, especially, someone on Twitter said it's hard to get your team to get a sense of urgency to get up when your coach lacks a
Yeah.
sense of urgency. Like Lloyd Pierce
Right.
is a
True.
calm dude. Like this isn't the first time he's been on a hot seat. He was on the hot seat last year. And, just kind
Yeah.
of always like, hearing those chirps. We've asked him this a bunch of times as, media people. What do you do when you hear that? It's like, man, this is basketball, man. This ain't, this ain't
Right.
bad.
Right.
He gives that spiel and it's like, okay, like I get it, but this is also your job, and people are talking about
Yeah.
your job might be on the line and people want you to lose your job online. How do you react to that? Oh, it's just basketball. And when you have that kind of just even kill all the time, it's like that stuff ain't gonna fly when you're losing. It's not gonna fly when you're losing.
Yeah, he don't got no fire.
But then we also don't know about how he is behind closed doors, because behind closed doors in the locker room, he might be get out and throwing chairs and stuff.
True.
So we don't know.
Yeah,
All we know is what he's showing us in the
you
public.
say that because I don't know if you remember last year that Bulls game, and I think like they called a timeout, and I think Melvin Hunt and Porter, they were like going.
and Trey was drinking the Powerade.
Yeah. I was like, I've never seen that out of like any of these Hawks coaches that I've like since I've been watching. I've never really seen that type of fire. So I was like, bro, this is a joke. They're really not doing this, bro.
And nobody responded to it. Like no one was like, "Oh, okay, coach."
Right, exactly. They went back on that court and got spanked still, bro. That didn't move them. It didn't move them because it doesn't happen regularly.
But okay, so here's another thing. All right, so you look at the Falcons. They blow leads over and over and over.
Yeah.
It goes on Dan Quinn. So the Hawks a couple of weeks ago, when you talk about that Cleveland game, what was the 3-game stretch? Cleveland, New York, and there was another team where they had 15-point leads. It probably was Charlotte, but I don't think they had a 15-point lead against Charlotte. But it was three teams.
They just blew it.
Where they had 3 15-point leads or big fourth quarter leads, and they blew it. And, shout out my guy E. Powell, but he was trying to defend it. He was like, "See, look, other teams they blow leads too," and I'm like, "That's not the point."
I saw that.
That's not the point. When you have the talent that the Hawks have the talent, and they had the expectation to be a top 4 seed this year, and you have the chemistry thing. Okay, chemistry. Some nights you're gonna have it, some nights you're not. Whether you have chemistry or not, when you got a guy like Bogey and Gallo and Trey and DeAndre Hunter playing the way he's playing and Cam Reddish playing the way he was playing at the beginning of the season, you're gonna have nights where chemistry doesn't matter. You'll put up 150 regardless because you have that much talent. It's like what LeBron was talking about Kyrie. Him and Kyrie, they never got along. It just didn't click, but they still won the title just because they were so dang talented,
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like you have those nights, but it's also like when there's a trend, it falls on the coach. When you have the talent,
it's gonna fall on coach. Yeah.
When talent is there and you have a trend of blowing leads, it falls on the coach. That's just the way it is. So yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Free. That's all I got for this week. It's episode 1 in the books. Birds and the Bees. Malik, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Malik ATL.
All right. And RashadMillen.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Kennedy Carter's Leg Sleeve. Y'all take care, man. Y'all be safe.